Guys, so I hear I got a 1070 case. I bought this tractor a few years ago, needing some work, and you'd let out the clutch and it would jump pretty good. But the clutch return spring was off, so I figured that's probably why it was jumping. Turns out that's not what it is, and from research that I've done, they say it could either be the clutch, the clutch in the transmission. It's power shift. That the clutch used for that could be leaking, or they say it could possibly be leaking in the top valve that sits on top of the transmission, which that's what I'm working on today. And I kind of got a head start, but that thing just sits right up on top of here. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. There you go. But yeah, just got a couple pipes that go into it, and then a couple linkages on this side. One for the clutch, it's that one there, and then one for the power shift right there. And I guess I'm not 100% sure what all the pipes are for, but we are going to take it apart and hope like hell that one of these are binding. That one, that's the clutch there, and that seems pretty good. But it could be one of these here. Could be maybe stuck, so it doesn't really want to move inside there. That's what I'm hoping for, because this I can do. Splitting this bugger, that might be a chore, and especially doing it here. This probably isn't the best splitting area, so we'll I guess we'll get this thing in the shop and hopefully find a sticky valve or something. So, got it the valve into the shop here, and when I pulled it apart off the tractor, this part came off first, and then this part came off after, because nothing holds them together other than the bolts that hold everything on the tractor. And when I was pulling it off, this kind of came apart right here. I don't know if maybe that could have been the problem, because leaks could definitely get across there. I notice it's a little, rusty looking, so I don't know, that might have something to do with it. And I was looking in here, and right over in here, it's like grease. I don't think hydraulic oil is supposed to be like that. So then again, this tractor hasn't been ran in probably like 2 years, maybe year and a half, 2 years. So maybe that's just somehow water got in there. I don't know. But I was reading on this forum, yesterdaystractor.com or something like that. A guy talks about how to clean one of these, and I'll put the link in the description. But basically what he says is just soak this whole thing in some solvent, and eventually, see, there's these little caps here, and you pull those off, and when you tip it over, the valve should just drop out. It shouldn't be held in there at all. So I'm going to soak it and then start taking those out, try to move them back and forth a little bit, kind of clean that out a little bit, and hopefully this thing gets cleaned up. So get started on that, and we'll see what goes from there. got this kind of cleaned up. All that gunk that was in there is now out of there. And the spools are actually threaded on the end, which I can't get out now because let's see here. Hold on. The spools are threaded on the end there, so you can take like a little screw or a bolt and screw it in like that, and then that way you can move it in and out. So that's what we're doing right now, is just kind of trying to clean out the bores in some carb cleaner solvent stuff. And yeah, so we're just going to keep doing this to all these spools that are in here, and hopefully this does it. You can hit the stop button. We were working on this, pulling out, we have our screw here, and what you do is you get these threaded into the spool, and once they're threaded in, you put it back in the solvent, and you just wiggle them back and forth, and you just go like that until you know, it kind of helps clean them out. And once they're cleaned out, then you take your screw back off. One thing we did notice though is on the lube port, which is the opposite end from the linkages, there's nothing to put in, you know, there's no thread for the screw. So what we ended up doing was we took an O-ring pick and just kind of are pushing it back and forth with the same theory as the other spools, just kind of working it back and forth, trying to get it all cleaned out. But yeah, so if you're going to end up doing this and you run into that problem, that's just, there's no threads to go in, so don't worry about it. You just have to take an O-ring pick and move it back and forth. We got the valve all cleaned out, and we took it out of the solvent, we sprayed it off, and now we're just putting the spools back in. And what you're going to want to do is get your spools and get them in get some oil on them, so you don't want to put it in dry. And once you get them in, then you can I don't know, put it back on and see if it works. I'm not going to be able to get it on because I'm going to need a new gasket, so this is going to probably be a two-part video. First part now, second part when I get my gasket, which I don't know when that'll be. So, all right, thank you.